All right, welcome back, everybody. The time is now just a couple of seconds before 7:45. In 10 years, Eskom has had 10 chief executive officers, which is a concern in itself. Matshela Koko resigned in February last year. He was one of them, and there have been allegations that he was one of those at the center of looting at the power utility. He is here in studio with us to talk about what's happening at Eskom. Good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners.
So it's good to have you here in studio. And you have got extensive experience with Eskom. I mean, 20 years is what you have offered in your career to Eskom.
Much more than that.
And yes, even more. What's your take of what's going on now?
Painful, extremely painful. And let me tell you why. 2015 August, we had no Medupi, we had no Ingula, we had no Kusile. The demand was high, but there was no stage 4 load shedding. There's not even stage 1 load shedding. Diesel was not used to keep the lights on. The usage of diesel was reduced to nothing. Today we have the benefit of Medupi, we have the benefit of Ingula, we have the benefit of Kusile. The demand is low, and we are 6,000 megawatts short to stabilize this grid. The people of Eskom are the same engineers. It's painful.
It is very painful, but when you look at the likes of Medupi and Kusile, and please you can add further into this, it's just saying that there are substandard power stations, that they're not working properly, and these are, perhaps we were better off without them.
Let's take your version. In your version, they're not working suboptimal. Let's say they're working 50%. You've got the benefit of Medupi at 50%. It was not there in 2016. The demand was high, but there was no load shedding. The same people, it's the same engineers.
Yeah. Look, load shedding started in 2007. We can't deny that there was no load shedding.
It's the 18th of March, 8th of August 2015, load shedding stopped. It started again in January, in November 2017. So between 8th August 2015 to November 2017, there was no load shedding. There was no Ingula.
So what do you attribute that to? Why do you think Eskom was doing so well during those years?
Because we made the right decisions.
And what were those decisions?
We did not have excuses. Brian Molefe came in. He never complained about lack of maintenance. He never blamed the past leadership. He came in, he says there's maintenance bottleneck. He is the current leader. He must deal with the maintenance bottleneck. We introduced with Brian what we call maintenance budget. We said we've got a legacy of maintenance issues. We have to deal with it. Let us deal with it within the maintenance budget we have. So we said it to ourselves, we must maintain the plant. We must not use diesel to keep the lights on. And we must not load shed. And we played in that space. And we did that successfully. We reduced the diesel consumption from R1 billion a month to visually 22 million rands a month. We did not load shed. We interacted with NERSA on the outstanding maintenance issues. We wiped it out. Now you hear the whole talk that we've not been maintaining the plant for the last 10 years. This is the plant that Brian Molefe ran that was 35 years old. Brian Molefe's plant that he ran was 35 years old. It had maintenance legacy issues. But Brian was able to deal with it without pointing a finger. He never blamed Brian Davis. He never blamed Siliso Matona. He dealt with the problem, no excuses. In November 2018, Eskom presented a 9-point plan. In that 9-point plan, they said we will prepare for the rain. They said we will fix our stockpiles. They said very unfortunate, and nobody took them to task. We will prepare for increased use of diesel. Today we've got stage 6 load shedding. Nobody asked them, but in November last year you said you're going to prepare for the rain. We've got rain now. And now you're using rain
as an excuse.
As an excuse. You said you're going to fix your stockpiles.
Yeah.
Now you're saying your stockpiles are flooded.
So
that's extremely painful.
And I can understand that, but let's go back a little bit, because we're talking and painting a very innocent picture of the years of Brian Molefe, of yourself, and saying that things were working optimally, that you guys were doing a good job. But behind the scenes, there's allegations of mass looting, of contracts that were given out illegally, of money laundering, of favors for family, which you've been accused of doing, of evidence that the SIU has presented as to how you yourself basically pillaged billions from Kusile.
Where have you seen that evidence from the SIU?
This is what's been presented to the state capture. I mean, let's just talk to that.
But let's stick to the facts. You're saying SIU has presented evidence. I've never seen that evidence. Have you seen it?
All right, so you haven't seen it. So
have
why?
You seen it?
Okay, I haven't personally seen it myself.
You've not seen it. I've not
we
seen
can't
it.
park things and allegations.
It's an allegation. Somebody must. Let me tell you what we do with allegations. Allegations go to the SIU. They go to the police. They get investigated. There's NPA makes a decision, or the Zondo Commission makes a decision, and the law takes its course. Now, let me tell you this. It's a fact that 2016, 2017, first part of 2018, all technical indications of Eskom are excellent. Nobody has disputed that. If you look at all of them. Now, let's take your version and say there was corruption. Let's take your version, there was irregularities. The police must deal with those and send those responsible into orange overalls. It's as simple as that. If there's been corruption, those that are corrupt must face the music.
So you're denying ever being involved in any form of corruption whatsoever?
I'm simply saying, with your straight face, those that are corrupt must go to jail.
Yeah.
And it will not be me.
So you feel that your conscience can...
It will never be me, I can tell you.
Well, I mean, where do these allegations come from? Do you think there's a smear campaign against you?
But let me tell you, let's take a step back. The first allegations against me was nuclear related. It was the first. So the allegations came up and said there was a 5 billion rand tender. The technical team, nuclear team in Cape Town, have adjudicated the tender and have recommended that Westinghouse be awarded the contract. Then the allegations says Koko came in with Colin Matshela and Minister Brown, overnight awarded the contract to Arriva. The fortunate part of that is that it is the only allegation against me that reached the courts. And the Constitutional Court ruled in my favor. Now the question is, why were there such allegations? Because now we know, in hindsight, that there were no such. Other allegations are not ending up in the courts. I'm eager for them to end up in the courts because they will end up like the Kuber steam generator that was dismissed. I'll tell you why. The dispute in Eskom that relates to me related to two things: my attitude on coal contracts and my attitude of independent power producers.
What was your, okay, let's talk about your attitude on coal contracts. What was that? Because there's again allegations that you ensured that at the end of the day there was a contract given to the Gupta family which was below standard.
So let's look at the outcomes, which many of you don't want to look at. In Eskom's own version, the year-on-year coal purchases between 2007 and 2015 was 17%. 17%, cumulatively 400%. In 2016-2017, there was 3.8%, 3.3%, 3.5%, and 3.8% below inflation. In 2017, back to 17%. Last year, 14%. This year, projecting 20%. So either way you look at it, the year that you define estate capture had below inflation coal increases. Now, state capture is supposed to increase the costs. So you would then expect that the coal increases in the year that is defined as state capture would have been more than 19%, because 2015 was 13%. But data shows something different. Completely. Now, this is what I did. I cancelled the Arnold contract because it was more than 1,000 rands per ton.
Yeah.
It was unacceptable. Media and the submissions at the parliamentary question says I was wrong for doing that. I have no regrets. It was the right thing to do. That's why we had inflationary increases. I did a prepayment. I bought 1.2 million tons of coal. I received it at 475 rands per ton. Today, Glencore is charging Eskom over 1,000 rands per ton. That's data robbery. I would never allow it in my time. And let me tell you, part of what needs to be done to turn around Eskom is to do what I did. And this is what I did. I said, the regulator only allows Eskom to buy a ton of coal for 350 rands per ton. I will pay no more than 1 cent more than that. Because every cent more than that, it's a loss to Eskom.
Yeah.
That's why Eskom is got a 20 billion loss. Because NERSA says you can only buy coal at 350 rands per ton, but you are paying Glencore 1,000 rands.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
It's difficult for me to sit here and conduct an interview with you when we are sitting in a situation here in South Africa where, as you yourself have mentioned, we're going through the most. I mean, stage 6 load shedding we've never ever seen. We've never been in a more difficult point where it's come to electricity here in South Africa. And yet we do look back and we do look at these allegations that are levelled against. Obviously, we're talking only towards you because you're sitting here. There are many other role players that were involved. And, you know, when we talk about the issues of Gupta trips, talking about your stepdaughter, talking about your wife, there is a list that goes on. And I know that you can defend them and push them to the side.
Police must deal with that.
Okay, and we'll wait for the police to deal with it.
And so, if there's a prima facie case,
let them bring it on. This isn't a court of law, so we're not going to talk to that.
By that, quite frankly.
But what I need to get from you is, are you saying that where we are now as a country has nothing to do with your time at Eskom? Absolutely nothing.
I'm saying to you, look at my time at Eskom. June 2017, that was my time in Eskom. The measure of technical performance in Eskom in that time was 85%. I left Eskom with the technical performance at 85%. It's the best since 2010. That's when I left Eskom. I left Eskom with over 30 billion rands in the bank. I left Eskom with 5,000 megawatt of surplus. Why must I feel bad? I actually feel good.
Good. All right. Well, as long as your conscience is clear.
But the numbers speak for itself.
Okay, we'll let the numbers speak to them.
Let's just be cold and just look at the numbers.
Okay.
The numbers in my
they
time,
speak for themselves.
They speak for themselves.
Let's leave that. Let's park that for now. Let's talk about other issues. And one of the big things is the cancellation of the nuclear deal under the Zuma administration. What do you know about that?
I ran the nuclear program for Eskom. Eskom never had a nuclear deal. In fact, we had what I thought was the best approach. We said, and that was my recommendation to Cabinet, and Cabinet accepted that issue a request for information to the suppliers. Let the suppliers give us a price of what it will take to build nuclear. And we issued it. It was stopped by the court. But it was the right thing to do. So I know nothing about the deal, the nuclear deal. The nuclear program I was involved in had no deal. But let me tell you a story. South Africa will be foolish to think that you can build a stable power system of the future without a modularized nuclear reactor. That will be foolish. Only non-engineers talk about that. Engineers like us, when we sit together, we know that a stable system into the future will require a modularized nuclear reactors that will partner the renewable program and present a very stable power system in 50 years' time. You know, the painful thing about this thing is this. Let me tell you the painful thing for me. the apartheid government, the racist apartheid government, were able to sit and plan for the power system 50 years ahead.
Yeah.
We inherited it. It was a world-class system. It was a robust system. A democratic government is unable to pay for tomorrow. The democratic government is giving us stage 6 load shedding.
Yeah.
You can argue and say the apartheid planned for white people only, but we inherited a very good power system from them that was built with the foresight of 50 years to go.
Would you take up the position of CEO of Eskom again?
Never.
You wouldn't?
I run my own business.
I know.
I'm building up my own Eskom.
In Zimbabwe, apparently.
I'm building my own in Zimbabwe, in Maputo, in the DRC.
Yeah.
That's what excites me
So
the most.
you're not interested? You've
I'm not
wiped your
interested.
hands clean?
I mean, not
You didn't
interested.
apply for the job?
I did not apply for a job.
So, we talk about a lot of issues that are happening at Eskom. One of the things that you said that people were against you is for the IPPs, the independent power producers.
Yes.
You believe that Eskom is, we should go more nuclear as a country. That's
No.
thinking ahead.
That's what I believe. I believe that we must have a balanced energy mix.
We must have a mix, an energy mix,
That
and
must be
nuclear should be a part
That
of
must
it.
be implemented at the pace and cost that me and you can afford.
Okay. What about independent power producers? What are you against with that?
I have nothing against independent power producers. I'm one myself. But let me tell you what I'm against. Today, as we sit here, bid 1, 2, 3, Eskom is buying a unit of electricity for 4 and 4 cents and is selling it at 106 cents. That's what I have a problem with. Eskom has got a renewable plant, Sere, I built it, and is selling power for Sere at 106 cents, but is buying power from the other IPP for 4 cents. 4 cents. That's stupid. Anybody will tell you that if you buy a unit of electricity for 4 cents, sell it for 106 cents, you're going to die. That is part of the problem why Eskom has got a liquidity problem. It's a different thing to say don't build IPPs. IPPs are cheaper now.
Yeah.
They are cheaper now. You must build more of them now, but you must deal with those legacy contracts of between the 1, 2, and 3. I think you can easily shave off 10 billion rands a year out of them. I don't think me and you should carry that legacy.
Can I pause you for a sec? We just need to get a few news stories. We'll continue chatting if that's okay with you. I'm just going to steal a little bit more of your time just to talk. So let's quickly get some top stories from Sakina, and then we'll continue this interview. And we look forward to hearing from you. If you want to write, if you want to talk to us, you know how to get hold of us at Morning Live, at Morning Live SABC. That's where we are on Twitter. But Sakina, will you update us on a couple of the stories?